So for this car, you have to install the handrails yourself from the plastic sprue, and I did find it funny the instructions say carefully. Be careful enough not to hurt your fingers. So in the beginning, I was using plastic cement, which I realized you actually don't need that much to put it in. But to actually take off the shell, you have to tug on the bogie and also pry onto one side of it and it comes off. Later, I realized you actually don't need any glue or cement. The pins are long enough so it won't fall out and you don't have to worry about a gluey mess. There was also a few spare parts. So while we have the shell open, you'll see underneath, here's what it looks like inside. There's this plastic red tubing which actually connects to the tail lights, so I guess you can add an LED later if you wanted to. Alright, so now let's take a look at the Kato Amtrak Viewliner 2 baggage car after we added the parts. It has a nice metallic finish, as well as the Amtrak Phase 3 livery with the red, white, and blue stripe. So if you take a look at it from the side here, we got the doorway with the diaphragm. It's black. We got the tail lights on the sides, grab irons on the sides as well. And there's also a brake handle on the side of the door. So these diaphragms are actually a little bit too tall. It actually should be lower, closer to the window, and the top corner should be more of a rectangular shape with a hole on the side. On the bottom we have this wide coupler box to allow more range of motion. So now let's take a look at it from the side. Here we have the number 61058 baggage, and the sides we have those grab irons that we just installed. On the lower half you can see a thin red line as well as some corrugation, and the trucks for these look actually pretty good. They also do have rotating bearing caps, so that will spin when you turn them. So next up we have a little step up down there that we also installed, and some labels on the door, which is pretty nice. Don't forget the handrails over. One's tall, one's short, and the inside you'll see one window has a giant box in the back of it. And then the red, white, and blue stripe continues. It's actually a nice vibrant color. And then we have the Amtrak logo. It says Amtrak America right there in the middle. And then here's what the other end looks like. It's pretty much the same thing, except it's missing that brake handle in front of the door. Alright, so now let's rotate around to see the other side. Again, it's pretty identical. Now the way you can tell these two sides apart, the spacing for the top vents are different. So you see on the ends, one's farther away from the edge, while the other one is a lot closer. On the top, we have a nice smooth section on the very edge, as well as some fluting across the roof. There's also a square gap around the vent, and the circular part is separate from the roof. Alright, so here I could show you the full car from the roof. Here's what it looks like, and then here's what it looks like on the bottom coupler box, the truck, and this bottom panel all comes out. You can add in a PCB controller or DCC decoder. And there's also a subtle difference between the step-ups, so you see on this end versus this side, sticks out past the box and doesn't have anything on the outside of it. While if you look on the other side, we have stuff around it. And I think it's pretty accurate for them to do this because the real life one has this as well. This car has some heft to it and a nice metallic sheen. So this is the Athearn Genesis Amtrak 184 Heritage Unit, and it's painted in this nice Phase 4 livery for the 40th anniversary actually. So here it is from the side. We have a nice gray on top, a red stripe in the middle, and then blue stripe, and then silver throughout. Starting from the front, we got the 184 number plate. It's a black and white, and then we got the Amtrak logo, bolted on nose, the head and power, and the MU cables down below. All nice separately painted and detailed. And here's what it looks like head on. Now, one quality control issue that I have with this, the windshield at the top, there is a bit of a gap there, a lot more than my other P42s. So now let's explore the side of it, where we have the front. Bottom is painted black halfway. We also got the American flag and 184. At the bottom, we have Beech Grove. Now that's actually Amtrak's main maintenance facility, and this is where it must have been painted. And the vent over here, it's actually a little bit brown. There's also the builder's plate for GE, and lots of tiny text. There also is a ladder leading up to the cab in front of the truck. And then we have this thing, which I'm actually not sure what it is, but it has a nice etched metal holes in it. 1971 is the year Amtrak was founded, so they written that there, as well as 2011. A fuel tank cap, the bottom air reservoir tanks, and a battery box here in the back. Got some more vents throughout. And the back door, the bogie, and the step. Alright, so here's what the back looks like. We got the doorway here, Amtrak logo, 184 at the top, and the head and power and MU cables at the bottom. And here's the other side of 184, what that looks like. For the bottom of this side, we have what I think is a spitter valve. Here's a view of the top. We got the PTC antenna array. Further down, we have the horn, the exhaust stack, and the fan in the back. Now let's take a look on the bottom. This model is painted a lot lighter than the other P42s, so you guys can see it a lot clearer. Especially like the air tanks, how they're hollow, and the battery boxes. And here it is compared to my other Amtrak P42, just like your standard Phase 5 livery. Besides the livery differences, the 184 has 2 more antennae than the other one. And here's what it looks like on the sides. The 184 definitely looks a lot sharper. On the back, we definitely have a lot more going on the Phase 4 with the stripes, the Amtrak logo, and the yellow line next to the door. Now here's a view of them both from the other side. Amtrak 184 does have a lighter underbody, so it's easier to make out details. Like, I never really noticed the P42 does have these tiny little cut liver whiskers, which is present in the other one as well. Alright, so for my final thoughts, I think the Kato Amtrak Viewliner 2 baggage cars is a pretty well detailed car. It looks a lot like the real life thing, just the ends are kinda inaccurate. I wish they would fix it. Actually, compared it to my other Amtrak cars, and the diaphragm for this were taller than the other ones. But the sides do look pretty accurate. I like the metal sheen that they have, and the colors they use are pretty vibrant for the stripes. Amtrak has been using the Viewliner baggage cars for many trains. If you see on rail finding videos, they're there all the time, but in HO scale, no one actually produced it up until Kato did, so I really appreciate them for making this model. So they are filling in this niche, and this is their first run of it. Also, if someone's from Kato watching this, make sure you fix those typos in the instructions. As for the separately applied parts, which you have to do for yourself, a lot of people were complaining about that, but it was pretty easy to do. All you do is clip it and you put it in. You actually don't use glue, so make sure you don't do that like I did in the beginning, or else you might have those glue globs. Alright, so for my Athearn Genesis Amtrak 184, the Phase 4 Heritage unit, it's a really cool livery. I've seen a lot of pictures of it online, so I really dig it. Actually bought this around the time I bought the other Amtrak P42s, but I never unboxed it. So it was in a box for about a year until I unboxed it, which when I finally did, there was actually some oil residue on the bottom, maybe lying on its side or upside down. It kind of leaked down below, so I had to wipe it. No big deal though. The only complaint I really have about this locomotive is that its windshield has a gap on the roof, and that's just some quality control issue. I could see some glue as well. But other than that, it's a pretty cool heritage unit. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, make sure you hit that like button down below. And if you want to see more, make sure you subscribe and comment down below. I love reading your comments. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.